Three, two, one. Greetings, foolish mortals. 'Tis I, Viktorya Roze Tassi, and yes, as you may have guessed by the title, my daddy, in fact, did get arrested. Let me provide you with some context. So, a couple of times every other month, my parents get invited, really, to, sorry. So, every few months, my parents get invited down to the police academy where they are asked to reenact a couple real life scenarios, just nothing too fancy. And this last time, I decided to tag along with them. And the police instructor did not say to the police in training that there was a third person involved. Because honestly, that's the way how it rolls. So for the first set of rounds around, I sat in this little white chair off to the corner, which is basically the symbol for this person is not involved in the scene whatsoever. And so, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just really thirsty as of lately. Just sippy sippy. But yeah. So anyway, the first two or three rounds were my parents were yelling at each other loudly. I should add it, by the way. The scenario was that my dad was, and he had his beer can all over the floor, and my mom would basically all like, "Pick this mess up. You're so messy." And my daddy would basically all like, "You're a woman. You do your job. You clean up the mess if you don't like it so much." And just yeah, I was basically yeah. My daddy gets every Sunday while watching TV. Just, you know? And here's the kicker. I'm, in real life, I am legally deaf. I am legally disabled. So for the entire time I was there, I was communicating in ASL and also by means of both writing down what I was asked. And to be honest with you, I'm quite honestly amazed that the police were able to read my penmanship. And by using a app on my phone called Notebook. It's really good, by the way. I actually very highly recommend it. And so, yeah. So the first scenario, sorry, for two or three scenarios, my daddy was and just basically doing a lot of yelling. Nothing there that could be arrested. And so, yeah. Sorry, my neck is just really crunchy today. And so the rest of the time there, I continued to act deaf. I didn't talk whatsoever. I just basically said, and that quite literally threw the police in for a loop. There was one police officer who knew a little bit of ASL and just, yeah. And I had my phone in my back pocket. So when I was reaching back there, I was basically trying to get the police to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. However, they weren't doing that because apparently they saw this pretty young face and thought that I couldn't do any damage to them, which, yeah. And so, anyway, for the final scene, for like the final two or three scenes, because we repeated each scene two or three separate times, I asked, "Hey, can I ask for a lawyer?" Because I was playing a 14-year-old kid, and oh my goodness, there was this one guy who was interrogating me, and I just flat out asked for a lawyer, and he started cracking up. I mean, like, mind you, The police officers are doing it for a grade, so just yeah. So again, I said that. He started cracking up, and I kind of started to giggle a little bit. And then there was this other police officer, a woman, by the way. I asked her if I could have a lawyer, and she looked at me funny and she typed in my notebook app, "You want a lawyer?" And I say, no lie. Yes, that's what I've seen people do for whenever they're being asked questions by the police. They just simply ask for a lawyer. I watch a lot of Order, and just the look on her face, she was thinking, okay, either this deaf 14-year-old, because that's how old I looked. I looked like I was 14, like half my age. So either this deaf 14-year-old is going to be a great police officer one day, or else she's going to be a terrifying mob boss. Just, yeah, that was pretty funny saying the least bit. Just, so yeah, anyway, I was playing a deaf person, a deaf teenager, and it was pretty interesting to see the police officers there. Well, actually, they're not police officers yet. They are training to be police officers. To see them basically try to, like, accommodate for me. And at the end of the training exercise, I say, I have several great resources for learning ASL. If you're interested, come find me afterwards. And then afterwards, as my parents and I were going down the stairs, because there was no elevator, no escalator whatsoever, it was like 6 or 7 flights of stairs, my poor knees. There were like 3 or 4 police officers that came up to me and asked me, hey, so what are those resources for learning ASL? And so anyway, I'm saying to them, oh, Dr. Bill, I think his last name is pronounced Vistras, on YouTube. He is a really great resource. There's also ASL Spring, which is run by a CODA, child of a deaf adult, John. I'm gonna mispronounce your name. I'm so sorry, John Versa. But anyway, if you're doing a reaction to this video, I'm so sorry. But yeah. Anyway, and for the part where my dad got arrested, we were doing a scene where my mom destroyed the computer that she and my daddy shared, the laptop computer. And my daddy took out his and pressed it to her forehead. I mean, like, he literally pushed her in the back of her chair and pushed it to her forehead. And just, yeah, so anyway, me being the deaf 14-year-old kid I was, I texted 911, and the police officers were saying that they got a call. However, I don't know if that's typical language or if they didn't know what the difference between getting a call or text is, or like whatever. But yeah, anyway, so going into the backstory even more, my parents shared the computer. I mean, like, mind you, I'm using air quotes because none of this is actually real life. My parents shared the computer. My mama and I were making dinner, and my mom thought that she saved the recipe on her phone. However, she didn't. So she went over to the laptop computer to find it. She opens it up, and the first thing she sees is, and so anyway, she automatically takes the computer, smashes it on the ground because she doesn't want for little 14-year-old me to see it. And my dad, who was coming into the room, he sees her destroy his computer. He takes his, which, by the way, I'm not exactly 100% certain if he had it on him or if he went and got it real quick. Comes into the room, pushes mom backwards into her chair, presses to her forehead. And just, yeah, anyway. Mom would basically, all like when the police got there, I didn't know if he was going to, and my daughter was going to watch it all, or just, and Dad would basically all like, yes, she destroyed my computer. I want her arrested for destruction of property. And my daddy had a plastic one, mind you, and he had it hidden in his sling. He had shoulder surgery like month and a half, 2 months ago, so he still wears a sling whenever he's out in public. And yeah. So anyway, that is the story of how my daddy got arrested. Just honestly not really that exciting if you ask me. Just a normal day in the Tassi family.